Hey you, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel and to the 14th day of my ARTOBER challenge. If you want to watch the previous videos, I've linked them down below and they will appear in a playlist once the month is over. The way this works is that I have 4 different prompt lists I want to work from that I randomize each day, then I randomize which day's prompt. So these prompt lists are Drawtober, Witchtober, Swordtober, as well as my own list that I made. And then I put forth the extra challenge to create a work with a limited palette via this set of palettes. I flip a coin, heads for set A or tails for set B, then randomize another number to pick which palette I'm going to work with. Today I spun the wheel and it landed on Swordtober. I randomized the day number and got day 8, which is the prompt Cursed Relic, which already has me thinking about one of my friend's D&D characters that obtained a cursed sword that was a relic of one of the gods, but it had also been cursed by Tiamat, so oops. I don't know what it looks like though, and I can't get a hold of the DM as of recording this, so I came up with something different. I then flipped a coin and got heads for set A, and the random number I got was 23. I love this beachy sort of color concept, the sandy color with the blues and browns, and it's just really nice to look at. So let's see what I can do with it. I started with drawing a katana at first with chips and thorns in the handle. The thorns were part of the curse in that the sword needed blood to be wielded, which I thought was a cool idea. However, the color scheme didn't really have a blood color, which I wanted to include, so I tossed the idea out. I do want to draw that at some point, but I don't think it fits well for this day, at least not the way I see it in my mind. That being said, I didn't have much going on in my mind. I try to visualize what I want to make, but if I'm being honest, that's really hard to do. And I don't know if it's the ADHD, but I cannot focus on the whole picture or even the details. There's just a sort of vague idea and I just sort of doodle and hope for the best. That's pretty much why I'm working with limited palettes. They help sort of narrow down all the thoughts and ideas I have and stops me from going in too many different directions. So I went through a couple different iterations of a sword caught in a stone. I'm not sure why that's the direction I went. Pretty sure any sort of sword can be caught in a stone and not be cursed, but I wasn't about to question where my inspiration was taking me. I needed an excuse to use the blues more though, so I decided to surround the stone by lake water. Nothing says cursed like a sword stuck in a tiny exposed rock in the middle of a lake. Obviously. I mean, my D&D characters would still try and touch it, but that's besides the point. They're morons. Usually I would ink the entire thing, but I felt that it would constrict the water and I wanted it to look and feel more organic, so I skipped the inking altogether and went straight to coloring. Of course, I then just used the marker as the line works, so did I really try anything different? I stopped partway through coloring the waves to start on the island, which I think I had the most fun with. While I was coloring it though, I kept thinking it didn't look right. It just looked like blocks and strokes of a marker and not like, you know, rock. Even though I was trying to blend the colors. And I don't know if this is a thing, but since I'm using markers from different brands, they don't seem to blend together exactly as I would expect them to. So that was a little frustrating. But that just might be user error, not marker, but something to note. And the Artist Loft marker I was using, specifically the sand color, the nib was fuzzy. Similar to another marker of theirs that I have that I used one of the other days that admittedly I haven't used it much since getting the marker, something like a year ago. But it seems like the older they get, instead of drying out, or maybe it's because they're drying out, the marker nib gets like puffy, it like puffs up, but only in like certain places, kind of like a weird fungal disease. I haven't seen much issue in terms of the ink flow, so I'm not sure what's going on, and Google didn't have the answers for once. Either way, I kept coloring. It was just annoying not being able to get a clear, sharp line of color. After that, I worked on just filling in the water. Thankfully, these blues were nicer markers. I mean, they're still Artist Loft, but they were newer, so it didn't end up getting like super streaky. What parts did become streaky sort of added to the water effect though, so I'm not entirely mad about it. Or maybe I'm just trying to justify these markers. I mean, you know, take your pick. At the end, I decided that the sword needed to be inked so that it could stand out from its setting, as well as the glowing aspect I did with the lightest marker and a colorless blender, which is not cheating because it is, in its name, colorless. Then I added in some hat shading on the rocks and my signature after I finished filming, and there we are. That's it for day 14 of my Artober challenge. I'm pleasantly surprised with how this turned out, though getting a proper picture of this is proving to be quite annoying. I promise it came out better than the picture, but I'm going to give you the picture anyway because that's the only way I can show you. Anyway, remember to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you all again tomorrow. Bye bye!